Okay, last time we were learning the dinim of a shul, of davening in a shul. The last thing we learned was that a person has to have a set place in shul. It doesn't mean every tefillah. It means for shachris you should have a set place. You can have the same place for everything. But shachris you should have a place. Mincha, Ma'ariv, Shabbos, you should have a set place in the shul. But within 6 feet, within Dalet Amos of your place, is considered your place anyway. Like we said, therefore, if somebody comes to shul and they sit in your seat, you just don't throw them out. You just sit next to them. It's still within Dalet Amos. The din is also, by the way, if somebody davens at home, the best, it says in halacha, you're supposed to have a set place to daven. This is the place you daven even when you're davening at home. Why? Number one, it shows a certain consistency. It helps in the kavanah. It says, another interesting din, we learn now from a pasuk, that ideally, this doesn't apply to a shul, because in shul it's an impossible situation. But somebody should preferably face the wall when they daven. First of all, and interesting, you're not allowed to daven, I don't mean in a shul. Like you go out to a field, you're not allowed to daven in an open area. In fact, there's a story, the Rebbe Rashab was once walking with the Frierdiker Rebbe. The Rebbe Rashab had to walk for his health. So they're going, they're discussing things, and it came time to daven mincha. So they found a little cave in the field where the Rebbe Rashab said, let's go daven mincha. It's a closed place. We can go daven mincha in that place. And then after they finished mincha, the Rebbe Rashab said to his son, the Frierdiker Rebbe, I want you to know that we have 5, 6, whatever years it was then. He said 5,600 and something years ago, when Hashem made the world, Hashem knew that 2 Jews are going to have to daven mincha in this place. So he made a cave in this place from the beginning of creation that 2 Jews should have a proper place to daven. Anyway, there's a story in Tanakh. Chizkiah Melech, who was a very, very great tzaddik. In fact, the Gemara says that Hashem wanted to make him a Mashiach. He was a very great man. He didn't want to get married because he foresaw in Nevuah, in Ruach HaKodesh, he's going to have a son, Menashe. Menashe was the famous Jew that caused Jews to worship idols, the famous, infamous, as they call him, Menashe. So, Chizkiah said to himself, why should I go get married and have a kid that's going to be such a Rosh, I won't get married? So it says over there, Hashem sent Yeshaya to tell Chizkiah Melech the following. If you don't get married and have a kid, you have no reason to live anymore in the world. I'm taking you away. So Chizkiah Melech said to Yeshaya Navi, Kale nevuoscha v'tzei. It's all in the pasuk. Kale nevuoscha v'tzei. Finish your prophecy. Hashem gave you a prophecy. You have an obligation to say your prophet and get out of here. So the pasuk says, "Vayasif Chizkiah lakir, panav alakir." Pasuk says that Chizkiah turned to the wall and he davened to Hashem and he said, "Listen." So by the way, he said to Yeshaya Navi, "Give me your daughter, maybe your schus, his schus, everything." It still didn't work. He still had Menashe. But from there we learn out. The Gemara learns out that Vayasif Chizkiah panav alakir, that if you're davening in an area, like in a house or something, you should try to daven to facing the wall. And again, the reason for that is because you should not be distracted so much from the davening.
What if the wall is not toward the east?
No. We're talking about, obviously, if it's facing east. You have to face east when you daven. We'll get to those dinim later. By the way, it's an interesting question. What happens if the shul doesn't face east?
Faces west.
Or south? Okay, so the question is, do you face, let's say this is south, let's say, for whatever. So, unbelievable. So what happens if this is south, let's say? Should I daven east? Or should I face where the Aron Kodesh is? So many people are of the opinion, by the way, you should face where the Aron Kodesh is, the direction where the Torah is. But there's a story when the Rebbe went to visit camp in 1957. The Rebbe went up to the Catskills to visit Gan Yisrael in Camp Amunah. So it came time to daven mincha. And they had the big shul was a shul, and in the camp it's used for a lot of things. And the Orden Kodesh was facing in a certain direction. So the Rebbe asked them, the staff in camp, which way is Mizrach? Which way is east? Of course, they didn't know. They didn't have phones that you could just take it out and see which way is east. So he said, we don't know. So what did the Rebbe do? He walked outside. Brilliant. Walked outside, saw which way is the sun setting. Sets in the west. So he looked, because it was mincha time, so the sun was setting. He looked which direction the sun is setting, and he faced east, which was not the direction that the Orden Kodesh was facing. So the Rebbe daven mincha, I wasn't there then, obviously, but the Rebbe faced east and not the way the Orden Kodesh was facing.
Is that a temporary Orden Kodesh? Or
No, it was in the camp for the duration of the camp, but for whatever reason they set up the camp that way.
In a house, can you daven in a bedroom? That you shouldn't daven in.
bedroom,
Do not daven in the bathroom. One thing, no good.
bedroom.
It depends. If nobody's sleeping in the bedroom, the beds are made. B'chal, a shul has to be a neat place. It's davening to Hashem. It can be a pigsty. You know what I mean? So a person has to pick a room in the house, which is clean, and he davens there properly. That's all. Huh? If somebody is a kid sleeping, not so bad. If somebody, an adult is sleeping, it's better not to daven in that room. Why? Because they sleep. There's a level of tumah and something like that. So, okay, next.
Is it okay to keep chumash or siddur in the bedroom?
Yes, the Rebbe wanted that the kids should have a chitas in the bedroom, and
Not only kids, I mean generally.
if the adult bedroom, it has to be able to be put away during intimacy. That's all. Next, it's a mitzvah to run to shul, not out of shul. It's a mitzvah to, there's a opposite world today. The mitzvah is to run to shul and to walk slowly out of shul. Or to any other mitzvah, like this says, Nirdu Foladas Hashem, I run to know Hashem. And therefore, even Shabbos, where normally it's forbidden to run on Shabbos, jogging is forbidden on Shabbos, but if you're running Ledvar Mitzvah, if you're running to davener, to learn, so then you're allowed to. Even in a Beis HaMedrash, by the way, in a shul, it's also forbidden to run. And therefore it says in halacha, by the way, parents, as many times as they're told, doesn't mean anything, but it says, it's a din Shulchan Aruch, parents have to make sure kids don't run in a shul. They should walk from place to place. It's forbidden to run in a shul. And their parents have to instill this in children, that it's forbidden to run in a shul. You want to go from place to place, you should walk. That's it. It's forbidden, it's forbidden for adults and for kids, for that matter, to run into shul. Also, it says you don't constrain, you should wait before you come into the shul, and get it's in Kitzur, it says you should get permission. It's like you're getting the awe and the permission to be able to daven to Hashem.
Some people take their shoes off in shul to daven. Is that normal?
In the Middle Eastern cultures where people took shoes off, it might be a shayla. There's certain Sephardic communities, I think, like in Egypt, there's certain places like that. I think they still do it. I'm not sure. I think they do it. Some people say, even though it's not halachically forbidden, some people say you shouldn't daven in your socks. Why? Because mourners wear socks. They don't wear shoes. So many people, especially the superstitious people, a lot of Jews are very superstitious. They don't believe people should walk around the house in socks because it's a sign of avelut, it's a sign of mourning, and they don't want. But definitely during davening, some people are against it, even though halachically it's not forbidden.
Without socks in the house, okay?
What, davening?
No, just walking around.
Again, if you want to walk around davening, you can't daven barefoot. Cannot. Your feet have to, the feet, the ankle, and the foot. Not only women, men also have to be covered with when they daven. What?
By Har Sinai, not by Har Sinai, when they had the burning bush, it says that Hashem told them to take off your shoes.
Yeah, but continue. Kiamokim admas kodesh.
Yeah.
Okay, and Anto Hara Bayis. which say b'chal also you're not allowed to go, even though people do. On Har HaBayis today, it's also forbidden to wear shoes. Today, the Rambam Paskins on Har HaBayis, which is Mokum HaMikdash, you're not, it's beyond the Kaisel, right? The Kaisel is the wall of Har HaBayis. It's forbidden.
You're not allowed to go there anyway.
I'm saying you're not allowed to go there, but even then, when it was allowed to go there, you weren't allowed to go with your money pouch, you weren't allowed to go with your walking stick, you weren't allowed to wear shoes, because it was a ultimately holy place. But that's not the shul as far as that level of kedusha that you can't wear shoes.
Rabbi, in
But
your house, can you daven and have bathing suit shorts that are above the knee, or like the shorts have to go below for a man? Is there an idea of sneas that also with the knee?
we learned the other day that when you daven, you have to be dressed as if you're seeing a king. Now today, people go visit kings without clothes on. I mean, there's no constant modesty ever anywhere. But the bottom line is, people for davening should wear respectable clothing. I mean, certain people, listen, they should only come to shul wearing shorts would be great. But for religious Jews, you don't come to daven in shorts, not in your house, and not in the house, not in shul, not in the house. You just don't wear shorts when you daven.
Probably camp. Sometimes you see the campers.
Again, campers are usually kids, and campers are, it's a whole different atmosphere. I'm saying, b'chlal, when an adult is davening, they should be dressed properly.
Does that mean an adult can wear shorts if they're not davening? A man is allowed to wear shorts?
It depends if it's a place where people wear shorts. In other words, on a tennis court, let's say where the dress is shorts, halachically, I'm not saying midas chassidus, halachically a man can wear shorts. But I'll give you an example. Again, I'm talking halacha now, I'm not talking midas chassidus. In Australia, in the summer, business attire, I was there for 2 years. Business attire in the summer used to be when I was there in 71, yeah? They would wear white shirt, tie, knee socks, and shorts. That's the way business people walked around. Shorts, knee socks, shirt and tie.
Gold ties.
So in those places, again, halachically, it would be permitted for a man to wear shorts, because in that sneas is relative to time and place. As long as the man is not revealing parts of the body, which would be erva, which would be nakedness. And then there's no difference between man and woman. If it's erva, it's erva. But sneas is relative to time and place. So again, should somebody walk around 770 in shorts and knee socks? I doubt it. Should somebody walk around in a show like that? I doubt it. But technically, again, midas chassidus you don't do. But again, if a guy is playing tennis and they want to wear shorts, halachically there's nothing wrong with it.
I was just if the shul is facing not in the direction of Yisrael, and the Arna Kodesh is not in that
Right.
direction. And the whole shul does daven towards the Arna Kodesh, not like the Rebbe did. So do you as an individual davening with that minion, the mafresh from the tzibur, you face Israel, or you do it like everybody else?
Okay. One thing is for sure, the Rebbe writes in many halachos, by the way, that you don't do things that make a machlekes. Okay? If it's going to cause negative feelings, then you're not allowed to do it. The only thing we mentioned is wearing a talis Friday night for the Yomid. Then the Rebbe said even if there's a machlekes, you're not allowed to do it. But this, like this, the Rebbe writes Godol HaShalom. So if the whole shul is facing one direction, and you're going to, and the people that love to do this are the guys going to stand smack in the middle of the shul to get all the attention, because those are the guys that like to do this, yeah. And they're going to dafka face the other direction. Okay. So obviously,
It's not right.
it's you need a little bit of common sense, which is very uncommon, to know that you don't do it.
If you have a spot that no one can see you.
If nobody could see it, or sometimes you could daven, everybody's facing this way, yeah? And you could face a little bit this way. It's not if it's not noticeable. Trust me, I had in shul many times, guys with, I don't know why, they were davening in a different direction, even this mamash east. I don't know why. Anyway, so and other people came to me and said, "Why is he not facing?" I said, "I don't know. Ask him." Okay.